Hi, everybody. You're listening to the Let's Live podcast by Alexandria Fraser. And today we have a very special guest. I'm very honored to have you on our podcast. You want to give a little bit of an introduction of who you are?
Yeah, sure. Thanks for having me here. My name is Shannon Ainslie. I'm from South Africa, and I currently live in Norway. And well, I'm in America at the moment on a bit of a vacation, but living in cold Norway. So yeah.
Awesome. Sweet. So you are a surfer. Um, that's how I got drawn to your account. How did you first start getting into surfing? How old were you and all that stuff?
Well, my dad is the one who got myself and my brother into surfing. He tried to get us to surf from when I was like 7 years old, but I never liked it, and I was kind of cold and scared to surf in the ocean as well. So I just tried a few times here and there, but when I was 13 years old, my dad, as a single parent, couldn't like take us anywhere or look after us because he had to work. So he dropped myself and my brother off at the beach during the Easter vacation to surf. So he just dropped us off there with some food, some water, some bananas, and one surfboard to share, and said, "Cool guys, I'll see you later." And that was like 7 o'clock in the morning, and then he would pick us up again around like 6 or 7 p.m. later on. So we were there like 12 hours a day, 10 days straight. At first, we were kind of upset that he had to leave us at the beach, but we got so hooked on surfing from the second day that we were so thankful to my dad for leaving us there. So yeah.
That's awesome. And does your brother still surf now?
He does, yeah. He does not. My brother does not surf as much as me, but he still surfs every now and then, and we go on a surf trip every now and then, like in South Africa, surfing some cool waves. So yeah.
Awesome. So, if I'm not mistaken, you are the only person in recorded history to have a double shark attack. Is that correct?
Well, apparently there have been some other double shark attacks recorded, but never recorded on video. So I think mine's the only recorded double shark attack on video, which you can see clearly that there are two sharks attacking me. So yeah, it's a miracle that it was actually caught on camera.
That is awesome. And how old were you when that?
Yeah, I was 15 years old when I got attacked by those two sharks.
Like that is so for me that is so young to hear you say that. Like, do you know what was going through your head? I mean, you probably spaced out, or were you
Yeah,
like,
for sure, for sure. Well, it happened so quickly when I got attacked that at the time I thought I was dreaming. I remember paddling for a wave, and while I was paddling for the wave, my mind and my eyes and everything was focused on catching this wave and riding the wave. And then all of a sudden, I was taken out of that state into like a dream state, and everything seemed to just slow down. And even when the shark like bumped me into the sky, grabbed my surfboard in my hand and pulled me under the water with it, I felt no pain, no fear, nothing at all. I just thought I was dreaming. And I remember the shark letting go of me and staring at me face to face, like so close in front of my face with his mouth wide open. And we just had this moment where we stared at each other for a while, and the shark looked confused. I was very confused because I had no idea what was going on. And then the shark swam away, and only when I reached the surface of the water, saw all the other surfers paddling frantically towards the beach, trying to catch the last wave into shore, did I realize that, okay, something's happening. And then I grabbed my surfboard and pulled my right hand over to start paddling, and I see my fingers hanging off, and a bite in my hand and my wrist. And that's when I realized that what I thought was a dream was reality. And that's when I started panicking big time. So, yeah.
oh my gosh. So that was when you were 15, and then you eventually got on shore. Did people help you, or were you alone?
Yeah, well, I was left alone in the water. There were about 15 surfers at that time in the water, but everyone caught the last one or two waves, left me in the water all alone. So it was a disaster, or like a horror movie almost, just being stuck in the water with these two sharks all alone, excuse me, all alone with no one to help me out. No one came to rescue me, put it that way. And it was the scariest moment ever. So I remember just like trying to paddle away from the sharks towards the beach, crying and shaking and panicking, thinking I was going to get eaten again, and just praying and crying out to God for help and to rescue me. Fortunately, I got to the beach safely, and that's when everyone came and helped me out. It was a bit late, but they came and met me on the rocks. Someone put tied a leg rope or a leash around my arm to help stop the bleeding. Another person wrapped a towel around my hand, and then they helped me out and escorted me to the car where my brother rushed me to hospital. But no one stayed in the water to help me out. They were too
Um,
scared.
did your faith shift from like, did it change at all? Did it like become stronger after this attack, or was it always pretty?
No, um, I believed in God before my attack, so I had some kind of faith, but it wasn't the same as afterwards. I think I'd never really experienced or encountered God in a way before that. So for me, God back in the day was just someone out there for other people and not for me. Um, and I never experienced any kind of help or answered prayers from him. But that day was different because for the first time ever, when I prayed, I felt someone help me out. I felt all my fear disappear. I felt peace just come and calm me down. And I remember waking up the next morning in the hospital after having an operation, thinking about the whole situation and praying and saying, God, like, if you are real and if that was you who helped me out, can you help me with everything else? Because at that stage, I was young, going through like a difficult family situation, and had a lot of personal issues where I was struggling with like anger, depression, suicidal thoughts, frustration, and a lot of other things. And I
Yeah.
prayed and said, God, if that was you who kept me safe from the sharks, can you help me with all these other things? Like these other things in my mind and my heart were way worse than shark attacks. And from that day on, I just felt a huge shift in my heart, my mind, and I felt like God replaced those things with peace and hope, joy, purpose, and a second chance. So
Yeah.
yeah, my faith definitely changed and shifted from my shark attack onwards.
That's awesome. And then you said you had a procedure, and was that just on your hand?
Yeah, so yeah, my two fingers were hanging off. So like my pinky finger, my wrist, my pinky finger, my ring finger, and there's like a bite in my hand, yeah, and then my wrist as well. But you can't really see it now. It's healed so clearly and well. Um, but yeah, I had an operation to sew those fingers back on. I had a cast on my wrist as well to prevent that broken bone from getting worse. So yeah, it was. I mean, it wasn't that bad considering I had two sharks after me. Most people would have had like maybe a bite over their hip or their ass or a lost leg or lost arm, or they could have died. So I just had a few uh, damaged fingers. So it's a miracle that that's all that happened to me.
Yeah. And were you, after that whole procedure, the attack, were you hesitant to get back into the water, or were you eager?
Well, at first, at first I thought I was gonna quit surfing. I remember for at least 2 days I was like, "Oh, I'm never gonna surf again. That's a sign from God that I should stay out the water." But then, like 3 to 4 days later, I was like, "Oh, surfing's really nice. Maybe I'll surf again, but I'll just surf like in safer waters, away from shark infested waters." And so yeah, I was convinced I'd surf again, but then when I did get back in the water, I was a bit nervous in a way, and I stayed far away from where I had previously been attacked. So I surfed safer waters,
Okay.
but surfed for like 30 minutes with some friends and family, and felt quite comfortable and safe in the water. And it was kind of easy to get back in the water. So when the time came, I wasn't hesitant. I just jumped straight back into it, faced my fear or my fears, and overcame them.
That's awesome. That is so hard, I think, mentally. I mean, sometimes I even like won't even go in the water because I'm scared of seeing a shark, let alone having that experience and going in. But that's awesome. And then, so since then, you said you were like in safer waters. Have you had any encounters since you were 15 with sharks again?
I have. There's something about me that sharks like. I mean, I was surfing with a friend at one time, like maybe let's say a mile or just under a mile away from where I'd previously been attacked. And I was sitting on my surfboard. My friend was next to me on his surfboard, just the two of us out. The water was very dirty and murky. And all of a sudden, I just got knocked from behind off my surfboard into the air by a shark and fell off. And I was like, oh, it's happening all over again. And climbed onto my surfboard, said a prayer again, please God, keep me safe. And yeah, fortunately, the shark just swam away. And it never came back for us. We caught the next wave and went straight towards the beach. So I've had that, and then I've also had an incident where, I mean, maybe a few incidences here and there where there've been sharks in the water close by. And there was this one time a surfer got attacked by a shark behind me, and everyone started paddling towards the beach to escape this shark, myself included, by the way. I was trying to paddle away from the shark to save myself. And as I paddled past the tail of the shark, I turned around and looked, and the surfer had popped up alive next to the shark. And I was like, oh, he's alive. I have to help him out. So I made the decision to turn around, go back and help him out. And that was so scary because I could have just like paddled to the beach and saved my own life. But I knew what it was like to be left alone in the water while there's some hungry sharks after you. So I decided to go back. I prayed again and asked God to give me the strength to help this guy out. And yeah, fortunately, he hung onto my surfboard. We paddled away from the shark. We got to the beach safely, and he hadn't been bit. So the shark knocked him off first and grabbed his surfboard and bit his surfboard in three pieces. So he was very fortunate to survive that.
Yeah, absolutely. So at this point, are you scared of anything, or have you feel like you've seen it all?
um, I mean, okay, I mean, yes, there's always like a fear here and there, but I feel like because I've like uh, faced so many fears and never, I mean, I don't really allow myself to back down from a fear. Obviously, like I don't want to be naive or stupid either, so I don't take chances, or I don't take too many chances. But like it's always good to face fears. Everyone's got fears, so like when I have some kind of fear in my life, let's say with a shark attack or getting back into the water after a shark, I just get in and I do it, and I feel like it's like a muscle that you have to exercise, a mental or an emotional muscle which you have to exercise and strengthen until it's big and strong enough to overcome those fears. So no, I don't really have any fears. Like even when I surf and I know that I'm like in a shark infested waters, I don't get scared. I might think of the sharks, and I'll always pray for safety and trust that God will protect me, and He has, and He always does. And I just think that like uh, it's so sad when we allow fear to overcome us and to stop us from doing the things we want to do and doing the things we love doing, So I just never let that fear beat me.
I love it. Yeah, absolutely. Did you notice any like key differences with your mindset after between the first and second attack that you had?
Yeah, I mean, because my faith grew and I grew closer to God, I just knew that God's intentions and His plans and purposes for us are not to harm us and to destroy us or to hurt us or for anything bad to happen to us, but He's got plans to bless us and to prosper us and to give us a hope and a future. And I was like, I'm going to surf and I'm going to trust God for protection and safety. And, this is just a vessel that I'm in. I believe I'm going to live forever with God after this life anyway. So even if I die, it's a win-win. I'm going to surf and enjoy it. And if I get killed doing or die doing like what I enjoy doing or what I'm called to do, I'm still gonna do it. But
Yeah.
yeah, I just feel like God's gonna protect me and other people, and I'm not going to test fate. I'm not going to go looking for a shark and jump on it and attack it to see what happens. I'm still going to be smart and wise enough. But
Yeah.
yeah, I feel like God's given me enough faith to believe that He's going to protect me.
Awesome. Okay, yeah. I love that too. I mean, I'm pretty faithful as well, so it's good to hear somebody who's gone through, very, I could say like near death experiences and talk about how that influenced you for the better because it's definitely a topic that not a lot of people talk about these days. So I really respect that about you. And what are you up to now? So where have you been surfing? You said you were living in Norway?
Yes, yeah. So I moved to Norway permanently in like 2016,
Okay.
and I've been working there as a surf coach. So I run my own surf coaching business. It's called surfcoach.no. So I do mostly video coaching, but I also do some water coaching, and I teach and coach intermediate to advanced surfers. I do some surf development, and then I also work with the Norwegian national surf team, and we run training camps like high performance surf camps with the juniors and the seniors. And then I also work or collaborate with the International Surfing Association. They're the governing body of surfing worldwide, and they also help with surf development and education worldwide. So I work with them, and we do surf coaching courses, and they also do judging courses and a whole lot of things. So I travel and I run these courses to accredit surf coaches to be qualified. So that's what I do. And I also, yeah, I do like online surf coaching as well through Zoom and through YouTube and tutorials. So it's really fun. I really, really enjoy what I do. Like, I mean, my whole life is based around surfing and surf coaching. It's great. And especially because I love it so much. And I've had some good success. Quite a few of my students have done really well over the past. And I've had a student who's won a world title in longboarding in 2018. I've got one of my students who's currently surfing in the World Surf League tour with the top 24 surfers in the world. He's been on a tour for like 3 years now. Yeah, and also I've over the years I've worked with an American author from Kentucky, and we've written a biography on my life, and it's actually right here next to me. It's this one, yeah. It's called Child of the Wild Coast, and it's you can find that on Amazon. So yeah, that's been a long-term project, and it's been so difficult, but it's finally done. So I'm in America at the moment. I attended an international Christian Surfers conference with leaders from all over the world, and then I've been doing like a small book tour on the side as well. So I'm here for like say 4 more days, 4 more days, and then I'm flying back to Norway.
Awesome. That's so cool. And where do you surf now? Like, do you surf in like safer waters? I don't really know. I mean, my dream, genuinely, and I'm not just saying this, my mom knows it. It's my favorite thing. I want to go move somewhere and learn how to surf. That's been my plan. I live in the Midwest in the United States, so that's not really possible here. So one day I will go and move and learn how to surf, but I don't really know about like the waters and everything yet. So is there safer waters? Do you do things in order to be safer? I'm not really sure how it works.
Yeah, well, first of all, you should definitely try surfing. I mean, America's got some good waves, a lot of surf spots around the east and the west coast, so you should give it a go. Norway is such an amazing country. The weather's not so good, but the country itself is amazing. It's very stable and safe and prosperous, and things work very well. It's a welfare state, so the government makes sure that they look after everyone in the country like properly. Um, the most dangerous thing in Norway is the weather. I mean, a few years ago, as COVID started, actually, my car got blown over and it rolled and flipped on a friend's car, landed on top of his car. So the
Oh,
wind gets super heavy there. We have a lot of hurricanes and storms. So I think the most dangerous thing is the wind and the weather. It gets very cold in some parts of Norway as well. And I lived above the Arctic Circle for many years. I just recently moved down south to Stavanger, on the southwest coast of Norway. But the northern part's so beautiful. It's the most beautiful area I've ever seen, and it's epic as well. But yeah, there's no dangerous things. There are no wild animals, no sharks, no crocodiles or alligators coming after you in the water. But what they do have are nice big killer whales. And so myself and some friends have had some experiences and encounters in the Arctic Circle with the killer whales. So one of mine has actually also been caught on camera where I had two killer whales like come towards me, and then the one went right underneath the nose of my board and swam away. It was so amazing and scary at the same time. Um, and yeah, I've got some other friends who've had some similar encounters with killer whales, but they're very friendly and social, and they've never attacked anyone in the wild, so they're nice to be with.
Awesome. Do you see seals ever? Like,
Yeah, we see a couple of seals in Norway. You'll just see one at a time. You don't see too many.
those are my favorite. That's why I had to ask. That's so cool. So, have you been, okay, there's like a surf capital of the world in France, I believe. I forgot what it's called. Have you been there before?
Yeah, well, the the surf capital of the world is probably not in France,
Okay, because I
but
like read it. I
I
like saw it
mean,
on like a TikTok.
there might be there's like a debate. There are a few options. Okay, so Hawaii, like the
Mhm.
North Shore in Hawaii, is probably like the surf capital of the world. But then you also have in San Clemente, you have quite a popular area, especially in Trestles. That's like one of the other surf capitals. And then you have the Gold Coast in Australia, like another surf capital. But then if you're talking about Europe, I'd say France could be it. And in France, you have probably Hossegor. That could be the main spot. And I have been there. I've surfed there. It's super good. A lot of surfers, good surf vibe and community, good waves, and great coffee and croissants.
Oh my gosh, yes. Yeah, because I remember I saw like a TikTok about it because I was like looking up like places to surf at, and that one came up and it was like this, and like it was like the caption, and I was reading it, and I was like, I feel like, I mean, I could be wrong, but I feel like Australia or like, I don't know, I feel like that would be more, but that's really cool. Yeah, of Europe, I guess. That's super cool. And the croissants, absolutely. That's literally my favorite part, probably.
Yeah.
And do you have a favorite place to surf?
It's a tough one because I've surfed some really good waves around the world. But I must say, South Africa's got the best waves I've ever surfed in my life. So I grew up in East London on the east coast of South Africa. That's where I was attacked by the two sharks. And then I moved down south about 400 kilometers from there. Don't know what that is in miles. And I surfed and lived in a place called Jeffreys Bay for like a little over like 11, 12 years. And that is, I'd say, the surf capital of Africa, Jeffreys Bay. That's one of the best surf destinations in the world. Depending on who you're speaking to, it could be in the top 2 to 4 best surf destinations in the world. So that's where I've had the best waves of my life. But then at the same time, some of the most exotic waves I've ever had have been above the Arctic Circle in the Lofoten Islands in Norway. Um, but as a surfer, like when you travel, you surf different kind of waves with different kind of landscapes and climates and people and culture. So the whole experience is great too. So it's a difficult question to ask a surfer, but when it comes to the actual ride, like the riding of a wave, Jeffreys Bay in South Africa has been the best waves I've ever surfed.
What do you think the tallest, like the highest, like how many, oh, I guess, yeah, I don't know, however tall it was you think that you've ever surfed?
The biggest wave I ever caught was around 10 meters. That's probably around 25 feet or 30 feet. But I fell off. I fell off and I wiped out. I landed on my chest. The wave broke on me. I got quite smashed by the wave, and I ended up coughing up blood for like 3 days. So I never rode a 30-foot wave. I wiped out. The biggest wave I've actually surfed and ridden is maybe 8 meters, which is around 24 feet or 20 feet. I don't know. So yeah, I've caught some big waves here and there, but I mean, not like massive tidal wave kind of surfing. It's yeah, I'm not really a big wave surfer, but it's just been there've been like two cases where I like surfed and it was kind of big, but during the surf it got bigger and bigger and just kept on growing. And towards the end of the surf, that's kind of when I caught the biggest wave. But the one time I fell off, and then the other time when I rode the big wave, I ended up wiping out at the end of the ride, broke my board, ended up getting stuck in this current for like 35 to 45 minutes, almost died. So I've had two experiences where I've surfed kind of big waves and I've almost died both times.
Oh my gosh. And during those moments, like you just have to like stay calm, relax your body. Like what are the key things? Like what goes through your head?
100% just stay calm. Like the time when I fell and landed on my chest and ended up coughing up blood, that one was just painful, but I never almost drowned. Could have
Okay.
been worse. I just caught the next wave and I rode the wave all the way to the beach. It was a long wave and it was a really good wave. But the time when I got stuck in that current was quite dangerous and sketchy because the current was pulling me out to sea kind of at an angle towards the edge of this cliff where the waves are just crashing against this cliff and I couldn't get away from it and I was stuck. um, and the best thing you do in those kind of situations is just to stay calm, to relax and pray for help. And yeah,
Yeah.
God got me out of that.
Have you have you met some pretty cool surfers along the way as well, like all from all over the world?
Yeah, met some cool surfers. I've met some world champion surfers here and there from like um, America, Australia, South Africa, and where else? Yeah, met some really cool people here and there. And actually, one or two of them have come to Norway above the Arctic Circle, and then the others I met in South Africa. So yeah, you meet some really cool people surfing and traveling the world.
That's really cool. That's a dream of mine, so I will definitely keep doing that. Do you have a favorite place in the United States to surf at all, or just kind of wherever you go?
I'd say Trestles. That's like the one of the main spots in America to surf. That's like a high performance surf area. You have also Rincon, which is good, and a few other really good spots, but I haven't been there. But Trestles is probably the best, like, yeah, it's the best wave for sure. And I've surfed there a few times and just had amazing waves. It's a really good area. It's a really big area too. So you have multiple surf spots. You have a surf spot for like intermediate surfers, and then you have the main spot which is for high performance surfing. It accommodates any kind of level, but all the high performance surfers go there. So it's really nice to surf there, see all the young up and coming pro surfers, all the older pro surfers straight in the waves. So that's where I like to surf when I'm in America.
Awesome. And lastly, do you have any advice, whether they're for new surfers, returning surfers, just anyone in general in life? Do you have anything that you like live by on a day-to-day basis?
Yeah, there's many things I could say, but I'd say just if you this is just towards surfers, then I'd say just keep surfing, and with surfing, and this is why you should try surf, is because in surfing, one of two things will happen, and a surfer knows this. Either when you catch the wave or try ride it or whatever, you're gonna get conquered by the wave. You might nosedive and get smashed and tumbled by the wave, and get held underwater, and it gets frustrating, but it's also funny at times. But then also you could catch the wave, stand up, ride the wave, do some turns, and conquer the wave. So you either be conquered or you conquer the wave. And when you conquer the wave, it's the best feeling ever. And the more you surf, the better that feeling gets. And a surfer will totally relate to what I'm saying because they understand the process of surfing. It's a long process to get to that level, but it's the most addictive thing you'll ever do. And you can relate that to life as well. Like either you're going to be conquered by certain things in life or you're going to conquer certain things in life. And it's always good, even when you get beat down by the waves in the ocean or the waves of life, just to get up and to try again and keep on going until you conquer those waves because you feel like the king or the queen of the world when you do. And it's such a rewarding feeling as well. So just to be thankful and grateful and to appreciate that process, to never give up, to always face those fears, and to keep on going until you conquer those waves is what I can say.
I love that. Absolutely love that. And Leslie, do you want to like plug your social media? I know you brought up your book, but everyone definitely should go follow you. I am a big fan of your Instagram page.
Cool. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I mean, if people want to follow my wild, crazy, fun surf stories, then Shannon Ainslie is my Instagram. And if you want to, like some of the stories I told you now are in this biography that I mentioned. There are a lot of other crazy things. Basically, the biography tracks my life growing up in South Africa post apartheid and my family struggles and situations, and how, as a young kid, I had to overcome certain things, and I felt like God definitely helped me with that. And I've got a lot of other crazy shark stories and marine life stories in this book. So if you are interested in reading some fun, crazy, scary stories, which is also a story of hope, then you can find my book on Amazon, and it's only, I think it's like $15.99, something like that. So yeah.
Great. Awesome. Thank you so much. It was so much fun interviewing you. I really appreciate it.
Cool, pleasure. I'm glad we got this done finally. And have a good day, and nice meeting you.
Thank you too.
Cool.